Good morning. I'm Stan Gerson, Dean of the Case Western Reserve University School of Medicine, and I invite you to take your seats. I find it remarkably an honor and a privilege to serve as the Master of Ceremonies for this auspicious event as we gather to celebrate the incredible accomplishments of our graduating students. The Diploma ceremony for the 2023 medical graduates of the School of Medicine recognizes the culmination of your years of hard work, and some of you 4 years, some 5, some 8, or even longer, as you pursued degrees of the MD degree, perhaps a PhD, perhaps a master's as well. And we're just delighted with your commitment to our school and to the service of health in this country. Your degree from Case Western Reserve is a testimony of the knowledge, skills, and compassion that you've gained throughout your medical education. It also symbolizes your unwavering commitment to improve the lives of your patients and the communities that you will soon serve. As you embark on this new phase of your academic and clinical careers, we encourage you to embrace challenges, seek out opportunities for growth, and to stay connected with all of us here at your alma mater. To be accurate, your medical school has been training physicians for 180 years, and we're now graduating our 176th class. As you travel through your career in whatever city you reside, whatever country, your alumni predecessors will become colleagues and trusted partners sharing an exceptional environment for learning and innovation. Remember that the pursuit of medicine is a lifelong journey, and we are here to support you every step of the way. We're so excited to see this incredible impact that you will have on the world and are proud to call you alumni of the Case Western Reserve University School of Medicine and to include the Cleveland Clinic College Lerner College of Medicine within our school. Now, I hope that there are a few butterflies that you all have, and although we have a number of speakers this morning, I have a very simple message, and that is that you are, each and every one of you, ready for the next task. We provided the curriculum, but you learned the material. We provided the research project, but you made the discoveries. We invited you into patients' rooms, but you had the conversations, made the diagnosis, participated in the treatment plan, and committed to your specialty. So have confidence in your skills, be ready to learn more from a complex case, from your colleagues, and from your mistakes. We know that you're ready to interpret the next laboratory tests, images, histology, operating field, palpation of a mass. You're ready to listen to your patients, to their families, to gain insight from what you were told and not told, and be ready to react to a patient who may be physically or mentally unstable. But here also is your family, friends, and partners, and they are ready too. Ready to support you, to be your counsel, ready to shop for your groceries, convince you that rest and rejuvenation is important, to regain your pace and confidence. The next few years of training may have some hard times of work and responsibilities, and your friends and family are here to help you through that entire phase. And I remind you that the best way to avoid burnout and exhaustion is take time for yourself, whether it be yoga, exercise, cooking, bread making. Yes, Steve Riccinati, I stole that from your sister-in-law, who's actually written a book on bread making in medicine. And finally, behind us, or behind me, are your teachers, advocates, and advisors, and they're ready too. For a brief phone call or an email, they'll be glad to chat with you anytime in the future. So let me turn to the graduates. Today we have 210 students graduating from the School of Medicine, 168 passed through the university program in our innovative Western Reserve II curriculum. How about a wave from those in the university program, please? You got it, thank you. This proud and longstanding program is built on the pillars of scholarship, clinical mastery, population health sciences, leadership, civic professionalism. Many of you also participated in one of our pathway programs. You learn to be lifelong learners and to find answers through your small group discussions in your clinical program. We have 27 graduates from the college program of the Cleveland Clinic Lerner College of Medicine, please. This 5-year program gave students time to pursue a deep dive into research training, and we expect each one of you will be productive physician scientists. Speaking of physician scientists, 12 students graduated from our medical science training program with a PhD as well as an MD degree. If I can see those, please. You bet. This is our longest duration program, 8 to 9 years. It is a pinnacle of the Case Western Reserve University School of Medicine and was the first school in the country to offer the combined instead of sequential MD and PhD program. These physician scientists are dedicated to linking the practice of medicine with advanced medical research. I like to call it linking discovery with an attitude. That attitude is how to address fundamental questions in the biology of disease and improve care and outcomes as we go forward. Now, one of our MD PhD students, Razak Durwari, spoke at University Convocation on Wednesday. He is in his role as the president of the Graduate Student Council. And during his conversation, he noted an African proverb that he learned from his parents that goes, "A single bracelet cannot jingle." A wonderful visual of the fundamental value of all of the attention to team building in medicine that is so critical to our individual and collective success. So just remember to bring along friends, colleagues, family. Each of those will provide you an additional bracelet, and you will jingle strongly. Thank you, Razak, for allowing me to share this with the entire graduating class. And finally, we have 3 physician dentists who are in their MD and DDS together to be part of an oral and maxillofacial surgery program and undertook a year of additional training. Let's see for those 3. Last time I checked, each one of us may very well get to know one of these people going forward. To all of you, I find the spectrum of your successes and accomplishments and achievements just remarkable. Most of us know that it would be a hard time for any of us to get into medical school these days, and you've surpassed our expectations. And we look forward to the absolutely superb residency programs that you're moving out towards. I also realize that very quickly you'll forget all about medical school and be concentrated on where you're living, what you're doing, and showing up the first day of residency. So really, I want you to think about the forward process. We're glad that you learned so much from us, but I fully appreciate that your lives are going to completely looking forward and not so much back. However, we know that you'll be successful because of your incredible commitment and passion to hard work, to achieving your milestones, to being thankful for others and your friends. Now, I've called out our medical students. I also want to just give an appreciation to those here today, parents, grandparents, partners, children. I don't think I saw any animals in the room, but I'm sure you look forward to them. So I just really want to thank all of your family for being here today. I also want to thank the faculty and staff we have behind us throughout the entire School of Medicine, who work tirelessly to provide the most rigorous and comprehensive curriculum and education that they can to facilitate clerkships offer unwavering support to our graduates, and especially to our hospital leadership who are here with us today, who take so much of a role in your clinical clerkships and make sure that they provide you the building grounds for being the best professionals that you can. So thank you to our faculty. In our laboratories, in our hospitals, in our clinics, there are so many medical professionals that have helped you throughout your career: staff, lab technicians, radiology technicians, IT support, transporters, greeters. Each of them are as dedicated as you are to healthcare, and each of them relies on you for your decision-making skills, and you rely on them to help patients in their journey through our clinics and our hospitals. So let's just give a round of applause to those incredible individuals. And finally, of course, and most important, are our patients who have taught you so much during your journey, who have been there, who participated in you in your first physical, with you in your first physical exam, in those questions you kept re-asking them to make sure you got it right, and the bonds that many of you have had with individual patients. So just remember how important patients are to your careers going forward. So I asked my son, who's a graduate of the 2012 class of the School of Medicine, what I might say. And he said, "You know, Dad, there are some hard days out there, and just remind the class to smile. Smile and thanks to the individuals you meet with, whether it is your physician on rounds, a partner as a resident, a patient, a caregiver, someone who's helping to transport a patient around. It's so easy to say thank you and smile, and it'll actually make your day better." Now I'd like to introduce some of the distinguished physicians and scientists who are seated on the podium today. They have all played an incredibly important role in your career here. James Stoller, and I'd ask each of them to remain standing as I go through, and you can either applaud, but we'll have applause at the end. James Stoller from the Cleveland Clinic, Chair of the Cleveland Clinic Education Institute. Cliff McGarian, Chief Executive Officer of the University Hospitals Health System. Richard Blinkhorn, Metro Health, Chair of Metro Health's Department of Medicine and Interim Senior Associate Dean. Brian Schmollick, representing Lewis Stokes VA, Chief of Staff and Chief Medical Officer. Our medical educators extraordinaire are led by Leah Logio, Vice Dean for Medical Education and the Director of the Center for Medical Education in the School of Medicine, and by Bud Isaacson, Executive Dean of the Cleveland Clinic Lerner College of Medicine. Christine Warren, class of '09, is Associate Dean for Admissions of the Cleveland Clinic Lerner College of Medicine. Steve Riccinati, class of '95, Associate Dean for Medical Affairs and leader of the Wern Society, my son's society. Marjorie Greenfield, class of '83. Assistant Dean for Student Affairs and leader of the Geiger Society. Todd Otteson. Assistant Dean for Student Affairs of the Blackwell-McKinley Society. Jill Azok, class of '05. Assistant Dean for Student Affairs of the Satcher Society. Angelique Regis McCoy, class of '01. Assistant Dean for Student Affairs and leader of the Robbins Society, Jason Lambrese. Assistant Dean for Student Affairs and leader of the Gerberding Society, our newest society, and Amy Wilson-Delfoss. Associate Dean for the Curriculum, Neil Mehta. Associate Dean for Curriculum Affairs for the Cleveland Clinic Lerner College of Medicine. And someone that I think you all know, Lena Mehta. Who knows each of you more than you can imagine and is the Associate Dean for Admissions. And we'll be calling out our graduates today. In addition, I'm delighted to have on stage with us Beth Sursig, class of '84. Whom you will get to know as the School of Medicine president of the Medical Alumni Board, and just came back from running the Cleveland Half Marathon this morning. Congratulations. Monica Yepes Rios is the Assistant Dean for Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion. Anastasia Rowland Seymour is the Assistant Dean for Longitudinal Clinical Programs. Marie Schaefer is the President-elect of the Academy of Medicine of Cleveland in Northeast Ohio. Marvin Neiman is the Vice Dean for Graduate Education. Mike Constant, Vice Dean for Translational Research. And Cliff Harding, Director of the MSDP MD-PhD Training Program. What a group, and I'll tell you, as I mentioned earlier this week, I may hold the baton, but these guys do all the work, so thank you all. You may be seated. We could mention many, many of the awards that we offer throughout the year and the accomplishments of our faculty, but 4 are particularly important because they relate specifically to the education and teaching programs that we have here at the School of Medicine. And there are 4 Kaiser awards for excellence in teaching that we give out, nominated by our students, who give a very effective assessment of the value that our teachers bring to their careers. And I'd like to highlight the 4. The Kaiser University Track Preclinical Award to Vanessa Meyer in Family Medicine at Metro Health Medical Center. The Kaiser University Clinical Track Award to Abbas Mandavitwala in medicine at University Hospitals. The Kaiser Cleveland Clinic Lerner College of Medicine Preclinical Award to Amy Nowacki from Quantitative Health Sciences. And the Kaiser Cleveland Clinic Lerner College of Medicine Clinical Award to Steve Campbell in urology at the Cleveland Clinic. Now, one final group that I haven't asked to rise behind me are the other faculty, hooders, and individuals who've been directly involved as department chairs, distinguished alumni in the education of our medical students. Please rise. I'm especially delighted, thank you. I'm especially delighted to be able to move on and recognize the importance and the intertwined value of our hospital systems in your education, without which, of course, any school of medicine would not exist. And so as you move from your preclinical years to your clinical years, your engagement, your involvement, I like to say that this is how you find your specialty, by rotating through it. And it's critically important that we have our aligned interests with our hospital systems. And I'm going to turn the podium over to Dr. Lee Elogio and to Bud Isaacson to introduce the hospital leadership positions. Thank you.
Thank you, Dean Gerson, and good morning. It's my privilege to invite Dr. James Stoller to the podium, who represents Cleveland Clinic. Dr. Stoller is chair of the Cleveland Clinic's Education Institute. He holds the Jean Wall Bennett Professorship in Emphysema Research at the Cleveland Clinic Lerner College of Medicine and is the Sampson Global Leadership Academy Endowed Chair. Jamie?
Well, thank you, Leah. Dean Gerson, esteemed faculty, parents, friends, and all of you are soon-to-be newly minted doctors. I can't tell you how delighted I am to be here. And really, in my very brief remarks, I really want to frame my comments through 4 words. 1 is congratulations. 2 is gratitude. You've heard Dean Gerson talk about the importance of gratitude. The 3rd is mastery, and the 4th is impact. So congratulations is obvious. You made it. You made it. It's been a long journey. You've become doctors. People will forever call you doctor from this day forward. Well done. You know, it was our 26th president, Teddy Roosevelt, who said, the greatest prize that life has to offer is the opportunity to work hard at work worth doing. And today you claim that prize. You claim that prize. Congratulations. Gratitude. Gratitude. Congratulations. Second word, gratitude. Today, you continue your journey towards being your best selves, and better people are grateful people. And you have so many reasons to be grateful: for the opportunity to be a doctor, for the love and support of those in the room who've helped you become a doctor, to the schools and faculties who've supported you in that journey, and to your future patients who will trust their lives in your hands. Gratitude is so important. Third word, mastery. Mastery is the appetite for and the pursuit of mastering the art and science of medicine. This will drive you for the rest of your lives. Get used to it. Get used to it. It's sort of like Zeno's paradox. You'll remember Zeno's paradox of successfully approaching the journey, the destination by half, and the paradox is you never actually reach it. Now, this might have been frustrating in your run this morning if that were obtained, but Zeno's paradox is like mastery. Mastery is a mountain with a flattening pitch but no summit. So mastery is something you'll get used to. And the last is impact. So mattering matters, and you will have and you will forever crave having an impact. You've already had an impact on your patients' lives, and that will continue going forward. You'll have an impact on your communities, on the world. You'll make the world a better place. Get used to that too. And remembering that having an impact and achieving mastery requires tireless curiosity and humility. Tireless curiosity and humility. So, my congratulations to each and every one of you. It's an amazing accomplishment. To every one of your family members, my gratitude at the opportunity to address you today, and my challenge to you to achieve the mastery you seek. My hope that, as with your shining careers, these words may have had some impact. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Stoller, and let me add my congratulations. This is such an exciting day, and I'm thrilled to be here with you. I'd like to now invite Dr. Cliff Majarian to the podium. Dr. Majarian is the Chief Executive Officer of University Hospitals Health System and holds the Jane and Henry Meyer Distinguished Chair. He is Professor in the Department of Otolaryngology. Dr. Majarian.
Thank you so much. Well, good morning and thank you. This is an incredibly special day. I remember back in '88 when I was sitting there graduating from medical school. And this clearly is probably going to be the most important memories emboldened in your minds, but also for your families and your loved ones who are here with you today. Celebrating 4 years of dedication, perseverance, commitment to the most noble goal of becoming a physician. Today is a celebration of you. Drink it up. On behalf of the faculty and the staff of university hospitals and really all of the 4 wonderful hospitals that participate in your clinical training, I want to personally thank you as a leader of University Hospitals Health Systems. In fact, in 1866, University Hospitals was founded on many of the principles that I know each of you demonstrate every single day, and that's the notion that the needy are the most worthy. And over 125 years ago, our 2 wonderful organizations got together, University Hospitals and Case Western School of Medicine, and has partnered for many years in producing, I believe, the finest physicians in the land. For you, over the past 4 years, you've been a valued and respected part of the UH family in all the hospitals that you've rotated at. You've performed groundbreaking basic science research or have participated in clinical trials under the mentorship of faculty. You have designed research studies, analyzed data, presented at academic meetings. I'm amazed at the productivity of the students these days, and many of you have learned the fundamentals of what it takes to be a physician scientist. On your clinical rotations, you took compassionate, competent, and consistent care of our patients, and you did it under unprecedented circumstances, the worldwide pandemic. A moment in history that tested all of us, and especially you, in your early years in medicine. You demonstrated the necessary skills which will create the resilience for the rest of your career. You were brave, you were bold, you were resilient, and you were creative in providing compassionate care to the patients that you took care of, both at our hospitals and the greater Cleveland community, unwaveringly. You learned the fundamentals of what it takes to provide clinical care to patients, and you felt the enormity of the responsibility that comes with that honor and that privilege. Make no mistake, the faculty and staff and administration of all the hospitals that are honored to be able to train you, including our hospital, UH, saw how each of you stood up and met that challenge. And University Hospitals will remain forever grateful to each of you for your partnership during this most difficult challenge and for embodying all the attributes that we are all committed to, that is to heal, to teach, and discover. So in closing, let me offer to you again my most sincere congratulations and wish you the best for the years to come. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. McGarrion. So representing our Metro Health Hospital System, I invite Dr. Richard Blinkhorn to the podium. Dr. Blinkhorn holds the Charles H. Brammelkamp Jr. Professorship in Medicine, where he serves as chair of the Department of Medicine at Metro Health. Rick?
Good morning. Thank you, Dr. Lojo, Dr. Gerson, professors, colleagues. On behalf of the Metro Health System and our new CEO, Dr. Erica Steed, and the 600 faculty that I have the honor to represent, let me extend our congratulations to the class of 2023, your parents, family, loved ones, and friends. Job well done. Bravo. My first remarks are to your parents. Parents, what a great day. It rained yesterday so the sun could shine today for you. There are 2 big reasons that come immediately to my mind that make this day so special for you. 1, your daughter or son is about to graduate from medical school. And 2, tomorrow, after their graduation, you just got a $60,000 a year raise. Yahoo! Graduates, when you walk across the stage this morning, you enter the profession. The profession dates back to Hippocrates and probably further than that. With it comes tremendous responsibility, as you know. As the dean already said, you are prepared. Embrace it. You are ready for the challenges ahead. My final remarks and reflections for you are very simple. 1, respect the profession. Respect your patients. They come to you in need. Respect your instructors. They are always there for you, and they exist because of you. Respect your colleagues. And finally, and maybe most important, at the end of every day, take some time for yourselves. Take care of yourselves. And with that, take care of your colleagues when they have their times of need. Again, congratulations. Be well.
Thank you, Dr. Blinkhorn. And last but not least, Dr. Brian Smolik to the podium. Dr. Smolik is the Chief of Staff and Chief Medical Officer for the Louis Stokes Cleveland Department of Veteran Affairs Medical Center and is Associate Professor of Surgery at the School of Medicine. Dr. Smolik.
Thank you, Dr. Blinkhorn. Dr. Gerson, class of 2003, my fellow faculty and parents. First, congratulations. Everyone has given you congratulations, but I want to extend the heartfelt congratulations of all the faculty, staff, and employees of the VA Northeast Ohio, many of whom you've never seen and are working out in distant family practice centers all across Northeast Ohio. This has been a tremendous road for you, and you've reached the beginning of the road because a new road's going to open before you. I'm going to be brief. I'm going to ask you to remember two things. First, I want you to remember to be compassionate. Not just compassionate to your patients, because you're armed with an incredible fund of knowledge and a skill set that's only going to grow, but compassionate to all the people that you're going to deal with. And you've heard this before. To the nurses, especially the nurses. They're there 24/7. Please never forget them. To all of the support staff that you're going to encounter, you've learned this by now, but medicine is a team sport. And there's nothing that we do that isn't substantially impacted by everyone behind the scenes. So please never forget to have the compassion for all those people that are going to support you for the rest of your lives. The second thing is trust. I don't know of any profession that's blessed with the unblinding trust of our patients. Always be in awe of it and always respect it. You're at the beginning of a new road, and it's a lifelong road. We wish you all the best. We are always here for you. Congratulations from the bottom of my heart. Thank you.
Thank you. It is now my honor and privilege to introduce our graduation speaker, Dr. Kathy Magliato, a proud Case Med alum from 1990. We've become fast friends in the past few days, and she has my highest admiration and respect for her trailblazing career and her incredible and eclectic accomplishments. You're all in for a real treat. Dr. Magliotto is one of the few female cardiothoracic surgeons in the world. Currently on staff at Providence St. John's Medical Center in Santa Monica, California, she's developed a multidisciplinary women's health center to address the cardiac needs of female patients. It is her passion to improve women's heart health. Prior to joining St. John's, Dr. Magliotto was a heart and lung transplant surgeon and director of the Cardiac Mechanical Assist Device Program at Cedars-Sinai Medical Center in Los Angeles. There's more. Dr. Magliotto received her bachelor's degree in biochemistry at Union College in Schenectady, New York, where she graduated cum laude. As a medical student here at Case, she was inducted into the Alpha Omega Alpha Medical Honors Society and earned the Janet M. Memorial Achievement Award at her graduation. Dr. Magliotto then completed 9 years of clinical training at Akron General Medical Center, University of Michigan Medical Center, Loyola University Medical Center, and finally a transplant fellowship at the University of Pittsburgh Medical Center. In 2006, she hadn't had enough and went back to school to earn her MBA at UCLA Anderson School of Business. Dr. Magliotto is a noted entrepreneur. She holds over 25 patents in 17 countries for a cardiac diagnostic medical device that is under development by her company, Cordex Systems Incorporated, where she serves as the founder, CEO, and chief medical officer. Dr. Magliotto was recognized by Goldman Sachs as one of the 100 most intriguing entrepreneurs in the U.S. Given Dr. Magliotto's keen interest in promoting cardiac health for women, she is the past president of the Greater LA County American Heart Association Board and the immediate past president of the American Heart Association's largest regional board, the Western States Affiliates. She is frequently recruited by the media for her expertise in heart disease and has been seen on ABC, CBS, NBC, Fox News, and CNN. She's been featured in shows with Barbara Walters, Oprah Winfrey, Martha Stewart, Dr. Oz, and John Oliver, and has contributed to documentaries for National Geographic. Not only that, but Dr. Magliotto wrote her memoir, a book entitled Heart Matters, and published it in February of 2010, which became a New York Times bestseller. It describes her complete awe for the human heart and the privilege she feels in her craft as a cardiothoracic surgeon. She is an expert storyteller in addition to her other skills. In fact, her book was made into a 2015 scripted medical drama on NBC called Heartbeat, in which Dr. Magliotto, who served as an executive producer, was played by actor Melissa George. Born and raised on an apple farm in the Hudson Valley of upstate New York, Dr. Magliotto now resides in Pacific Palisades, California, with her husband, a liver transplant and hepatobiliary surgeon at Cedars-Sinai Medical Center, and her 2 sons, aged 17 and 19. She is an incredible friend to Case Western Reserve, serving as a member of the School of Medicine's visiting committee to advise the dean, and holds a seat on the board of trustees for the university. She received the Distinguished Alumni Award from the School of Medicine and a University Professional Achievement Award. She serves as an advisor for the Center for the Advanced Human Health here at Case and is undoubtedly one of our most inspirational alumni. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Kathy Magliotto to the podium.
Thank you so much. Wow. Thank you. Thank you all so much. Is my mic on okay? Gosh, I'm exhausted just listening to that. But You know, since the Vice Dean brought it up about the medical show, I feel like before we start, I have to dispel a few rumors because I'm worried that you're going to watch the TV show and think, oh, this is the way my life is going to be when I'm an attending, doctor. So I just want you to know it was loosely based on my life. For example, I was not in 4 different love triangles during my residency. Who has time for this? 4 love triangles. I was only in 2 love triangles. It was a blast, but that's all I had time for. The second thing is blood, okay? So when we were filming and we were on the set and we were filming the OR shots, they would yell out to the prop guys, "We need more blood." And then these guys who were the blood guys would come running up to the stage and douse it with artificial blood. At least I thought it was artificial, I don't know. And I'm telling you that by the time they got done, I couldn't tell, is it a show about a serial killer or is it a show about a cardiac surgeon? So just so you know, we want less blood in the operating room. Wow. Thank you so much. You guys look amazing. I got to take just a minute and take a gander at you because it is an extraordinary thing to be up here looking at all of you. And, what's so shocking to me is, I got to tell you, you guys look exhausted. You look positively drained, and I'm telling you, this is it. The only thing between you and these diplomas is me, and I'm going to be, maybe 15, 10 if you're lucky minutes. So congratulations. But no, I'm sorry, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about the parents. You guys look exhausted, and your bank accounts look positively drained. So hang in there. Thanks. Thank you. Now, just a show of hands, how many of you are going into surgery? I have to ask, I'm a surgeon. Okay, great. So you guys are safe, and the rest of you, ChatGPT is coming. Just saying. Yeah, shh. No, but only for the radiologists and the pathologists. The rest of you guys are fine. Seriously. No, and I'm telling you this. Don't worry about it. Why? Because Case Western Reserve does not graduate good doctors. They graduate great doctors. And we know the difference between a good doctor and a great doctor. And that is technical proficiency. No, that's not what it is. That's just the surgeons. It's just you surgeons. The difference is something that someone else just mentioned, and that is compassion. Compassion is what makes a great doctor. And compassion is what AI will never take away. And I'm talking about the kind of compassion that makes you kind and loving and caring. It makes you treat your patients like family. That's my mom or my dad or my brother and sister lying in that hospital bed. If you treat your patients like family, you'll never do wrong by them. You'll always double, triple check their labs and their x-rays before, you visit with them. You'll always check on them on your way out of the hospital, make sure they're okay. And you'll comfort them when they're scared and when they're in pain. And again, that's the beauty of compassion, something that AI will never take away. But you have to have the courage to wield it. So let's talk about that for a minute. So, the idea of compassion and courage for me are sort of a big deal because, as you know, it's very rare, right, to be a heart surgeon, right? I think it's, maybe less than 4% or 3% of heart surgeons are women. And the women that go into cardiothoracic surgery typically go into the thoracic side, not the cardiac side. But we all know lungs are boring, right? I don't know why they do that. You've touched them, they're boring. So anyway, the other thing is that it's really rare, as you heard, to be an entrepreneur and be a CEO and founder of a med tech startup. Raised all my own capital, that's like 2.7%. So I have now decided that anything 3% or less, and I'm doing it. Yeah, so next week I'm either gonna be an astronaut or a Kardashian. And listen, it could go either way. Kidding. But no, I bring that up because people often ask me, why did you want to be a heart surgeon? What was it? How did you decide that? And the answer is this. For me, it was a really sort of a very singular, fateful day. And it was really, really early on in my internship. By the way, not more than a month or two from where all of you are right now. And I showed up to my internship, and they said to me, look, Kathy, this is general surgery. This is going to be really hard. Your first year is so hard. And in order to survive it, you have to be able to do two things. They said, number one, you got to figure out how to stay out of everyone's way. Okay. And number two, you got to not kill anybody. I thought, okay, I'm going to be fine. I'm going to stay out of everyone's way. I'm going to not kill anybody. I'll be fine. Well, that worked right until one morning, 7 a.m. I'm at the operating room board. I'm looking at the cases. I'm minding my own business. I haven't killed anybody, and it's, I'm out of everyone's way. A nurse grabs me and says, oh, my God, doctor needs you right away in OR 7. And she throws me into a cardiac OR, which I'd never been in, right? Total chaos. Instruments flying, people yelling, everybody scurrying around. And in the middle of that is an OR table with a guy with his chest open and blood shooting up. And all of a sudden the surgeon yells out, get some gloves on and get up here. And I thought, up where? Where all the blood is shooting up? Because if I go up there, A, I'm going to be in everyone's way, right? And B, I'm going to kill somebody because I don't know what I'm doing. But I found the courage, right? I found the courage to get those gloves on. And I dug deep to find that compassion because I knew in my heart, even though I was afraid, really afraid, that patient needed me. So I get those gloves on. I step up there to the OR table, and the surgeon, again, guy hasn't even looked up at me, says, well, reach in there and hold the heart for me. Hold it steady so I can get a couple stitches in. Well, I don't know if you can tell, I have these huge hands, right? I can palm a basketball and hold down 13 keys on a piano. And, a big-fisted surgeon is exactly what this guy needs. And I reached in, and I held the human beating heart. And for me, it was like whammo. I knew that this is what I wanted to do with the rest of my life. So in the middle of the patient being unstable and bleeding out, I decided to be a chatty Cathy, and I started, asking a few questions, right? And I said to this surgeon, I said, now, let me ask you a question. Do you, get to do this every day? And he said, do I get to do what every day? And I said, well, do you, I don't know, get to hold the human heart every day? And finally, this guy looks up at me, and he looks me right in the eye, and he says, well, of course I do. I'm a heart surgeon. And he just goes back to saving that guy's life like I said nothing. And I tell this story to you for the very reason that as you move forward through your career, I want you to constantly scan your environment for these moments of opportunity, these moments of clarity and inspiration. Because I'm telling you, they're out there in your future. And if you don't see them for what they're worth, they're going to pass you by. But if you do, it may lead you on an incredible journey through medicine. So that's my story about being a heart surgeon. Now, along the way, I developed a couple of guiding principles that I wanted to share with you. And really, these guiding principles are something that I had to learn pretty much the hard way. So hopefully you can gain a little insight and knowledge from them. The first one has to do with balance. And please, it's not work-life balance. We're not going to have that conversation now. We can have that later, after class. So see me after class, especially ladies, and we'll talk about work-life balance. The balance I'm talking about is the balance between fierceness, right? Making difficult decisions with your patients, and balancing against that beautiful tenderness that you need to have to connect with your patients. And it happens to be that that balance is some of the things that I'm actually least proud of in my career. I'm actually ashamed. Because for me, starting out as an intern, and it was so difficult, that I really did something that I'm not proud of. And that is I built, if you will, a metaphorical full metal jacket, right? I crafted that jacket every day, piece by piece by piece. Because that jacket made me fierce, and it made me tough, and it made me resilient, and it helped me to persevere based on all these things I was seeing around me. But I got to tell you, that jacket was awful because it distanced myself from who I was as a doctor. I lost touch with my family, my friends, and the worst part, with my patient. And that I'm not proud of. And it took me a lifetime to figure out, how do you balance that against this beautiful tenderness. So I started building that jacket my very first day on the orthopedic service. Those guys are mean. No, just kidding. No, I love you guys. Come on, I split the bone, we put it back together. I love you guys. But sometimes you are a little mean. Anyway, I showed up to the orthopedic service and horrible case, didn't know anything about it. They were doing something called a 4-quarter resection, which I'm sure you know what that is. It's basically where we disarticulate the arm from the shoulder and the shoulder girdle for a tumor resection. And it is unbelievable to show up there as an intern with that, because I was the lowly intern. My job was to hold the arm while they did that, right? While they did that resection. And that was tough. And when we were finally finished, I was sort of left at the end just holding the specimen, right? Until someone finally said, and it felt like an eternity, oh, just, throw it in the bucket, throw it in the specimen bucket and discard it like it was nothing. Who wouldn't build a full metal jacket exposed to that, right? But you know what the worst part was? The worst part was that I never once thought about the patient while this surgery was going on, because I was so busy, wearing my jacket and being tough and distancing myself and being fierce, that I never thought, for example, my goodness, did this patient, did she perhaps pray the night before her surgery with the last two-handed prayer she'd ever had? Did she hug her kids in the morning before she left for the surgery with the last two-armed hug she'd ever had? I never thought about any of that because I was too busy being fierce and tough and wearing that jacket. So then finally, and it took forever, I found my way out. And my way out was through the most difficult rotation I had, which was 6 months on the pediatric cardiac service. Brutal. These kids are tiny, frail, innocent of their disease. But the beauty of it was at night, when I'd check on them, like I said, before I'd leave the hospital, the nurses, who are amazing, right? We've already talked about how wonderful the nurses will be as you move forward. These nurses did something very special. At night, when it was quiet and no one was around, they'd take the babies out of the incubator and they'd let me hold them. And by holding them and comforting them, I found my way back. I found that I could love and care for my patients very, very deeply. And I could also wear that full metal jacket when I had to. So one of the biggest gifts I want to give you, really, is this gift of balance, toughness, and tenderness. You may lose sight of one or the other, but it will come back to you. So important. The second sort of guiding principle is something I like to call, dwelling in the house of yes. If I had a dime, a lousy dime, for every time someone told me no, I'd be a very rich girl. Wouldn't have to be a heart surgeon. You can't be a heart surgeon. No. There aren't any women heart surgeons. You can't be a heart surgeon, right? Forget about that. You definitely can't be a heart surgeon. You have chicken arms. How are you going to wire the chest back together? No way. You definitely can't be a heart surgeon. You look like a Barbie doll. You should just go into plastics or OBGYN. So all I heard was no, 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 and no. And let me tell you something. The more they told me no, the more I wanted to do it. Why? Because I'm vindictive, that's why. No, it wasn't that. It isn't that. It wasn't that. I wanted it because I started to fill my life with people who told me yes. And I started to get away from the people who told me no. You're going to go through this. People are going to tell you you can't. People are going to tell you you won't be able to do it. Your job is to find people that tell you yes. And congratulations, because you've actually done that already. You might not know it, but you're sitting next to your yes people, right? That your classmates have told you yes. The other yes people are the people up here in the cheap seats. I'm not sure why your family's in the cheap seats. They paid for this, but we'll have to talk about that later. But your family has been your yes people. And these beautiful people behind me, these are all your yes people. So I urge you to dwell in the house of yes, meaning go out into your residencies and your fellowships and find these yes people, because they are going to be what propels you forward. So lastly, and in terms of guiding principle, I'm going to mention failure. Now that I know sounds a little bit ridiculous, like Kathy, how is failure a guiding principle? Because failure is what we're supposed to not do, right? You know, failure is interesting for me because you saw, I grew up on a farm, right? And my dad pretty much said, look, if you work hard, you can achieve anything. So silly me, I just assumed if I worked hard, I could do whatever I wanted. And I sort of did that my whole life. But the issue is that we are all going to fail. You are all going to fail, right? People think as a surgeon that I walk into an operating room and I think about how I'm going to succeed. I don't. Surgeons walk into an operating room thinking about how they're going to fail. And then they try to mitigate that failure by looking at all the weaknesses in the operation and avoiding it. But sadly, when we fail, people die. And so you have to figure out a way to really embrace your failure and not let it destroy you, because it can. And my advice to you is to reframe failure. And I want you to do it this way. I want you to ask yourself a very simple question. What could you do if you knew you couldn't fail? Right? If I take away your fear of failure, my God, you could do anything. Anything. Think about that. Because it's the fear of failure that will hold you back. And that is not what your patients are going to expect. Your patients are going to expect you to be brave. They're going to expect you to push up against that edge of failure. And that's how you're going to be the best doctor you can. So I got to tell you, I don't see a bunch of exhausted medical students sitting here in front of me. You know what I see? I see a class of great doctors. Now go out and change the world. Thank you so much. Thank you.
I forget the most part. What wise words, and an incredibly hard act to follow, so I'm glad we get to. So Kathy, thank you for being here, for the support you've given us at the school, at the university level. Thankfully, she gives very good advice to the university president, which, as you can imagine, comes in useful occasionally. I just have to whisper it in her ear. And I hope you listen carefully. I have a very small gift for your shelf. It says, will I do it right here? In appreciation of your inspiration to the class of 2023, as we enter the medical profession, presented to Kathy E. Magliato, MD, MBA, FACS, Medical School 90, commencement speaker, today, May 21st, 2023. I'll remind you a Los Angeles day of a cloudless sky. So.
Thank you. Wow. Thank you so much. Thank you. Wow. You know I could impale someone with this, right? Okay, I'm just saying. Thank you. Yeah.
Well, this was all the preamble to the real show, which is it's time for some diplomas, don't you think? So I'm delighted that we're going to move into the diploma ceremony, and I've got a little bit of work to do here. So I've got some management here back here. So Drs. Logio and Isaacson will move to the diploma table. Dr. Sursik, Schaefer, Magliato, Stoller, Medgarian, and Blinkhorn and Schmolik. You can come behind here to help, to help greet the graduates. Marshals, take your place, and Drs. Warren and the Society Deans will be hooders. And we have a number of faculty hooders as well, and individual parents who will be hooding who are members of our faculty. And Dr. Lena Maida will come to the stage and invite each of our graduates by name to receive their diploma and hood. Thank you.
Graduates, please come forward as I call your name. Dr. Aaron Ackerman. Dr. Adeleso Adesina. Dr. Varun Advaryu. Dr. Victoria Adamczyk. Dr. Peter Ahorkume. Dr. Kiran Ajani. Dr. Nathan Alliger. Dr. Kevin Allen. Dr. Peter Al-Saloom. Dr. Todd Aquino Michaels. Dr. Brianna Austin. Dr. Amanda Avila. Dr. Abigail Bacharach. Dr. Dikshita Balaji. Dr. Aditya Banerjee. Dr. Nicholas Bank. Dr. Alyssa Bessaril. Dr. Madeline Beckham. Dr. Mario Belfilio. Dr. Diamond Berg. Dr. Abhinav Bimidi. Dr. Blake Bohm. Dr. Nicola Bomani Gonzalez. Dr. Alexander Borovic. Dr. Abhilasha Barua. Dr. Philip Brower. Dr. Hannah Bronstein. Dr. Jessica Brown Corsa. Dr. Robert Burkhart. Dr. Thomas Canales. Dr. Caroline Tsao. Dr. Megan Cavatayo. Dr. Irene Chang. Dr. Monica Chavan. Dr. Alan Chen. Dr. Lloyd Chen. Dr. Chisholm Chukwu. Dr. Amelia Clark. Dr. Emma Close. Dr. Joshua Cockrum. Dr. Rachel Cole. Dr. Jeffrey Combs. Dr. Julia Constantini. Dr. Dina Crozier. Dr. Anthony Dioro. Dr. Tarun Daniel. Dr. Nathaniel Davis. Dr. Lorvins de Cosma. Dr. Sarah DeCou. Dr. Carson Del Greco. Dr. Bijal Desai. Dr. Divya Devarakonda. Dr. Justin Doe. Dr. Michael Doe. Dr. Ailish Dooner. Dr. Nicole Dusich. Dr. Jacob Enders. Dr. Kaylee Erickson. Dr. Amber Estes. Dr. Ashley Estes. Dr. Leanne Fan. Dr. Ayman Faruqi. Dr. Peter Felton. Dr. William Franceschi. Dr. Benjamin Gall. Dr. Joshua Gallup. Dr. Kieran Garg. Dr. Isabella Gao. Dr. Steve Gindi. Dr. Alexandria Gerber. Dr. Anjan Ghosh. Dr. Jenny Gong. Dr. Daniel Gritz. Dr. Neha Gupta. Dr. Sohini Gupta. Dr. Megan Ha. Dr. Daniel Harris. Dr. Faraz Hantati. Dr. Alexander Hill. Dr. Emily Ho. Dr. Matthew Hoffa. Dr. Jeffrey Xia. Dr. Mina Huerta. Dr. Alexander Hurtado. Dr. Sharanya Iyer. Dr. Elizabeth Jackson. Dr. Allison Jin. Dr. Carrie Johnson. Dr. Nithya Kanagasegar. Dr. Emma Shea Kanyo. Dr. Naveen Karthik. Dr. Rahul Katkar. Dr. Ellen Kendall. Dr. Christina Kerner. Dr. Priscilla Kim. Dr. Tyler Kim. Dr. Jill Kneperath. Dr. Lisa Kojima. Dr. Hallie Kochman. Dr. Jillian Krebs. Dr. Elizabeth Kronberger. Dr. Blanche Kuo. Dr. Mariah Lipinski. Dr. Brandon Lau. Dr. Carolina Lemos. Dr. Jessica Liu. Dr. Diana Lopez. Dr. Christopher Matuk. Dr. Sanjana Madashetty. Dr. Anita Mahadevan. Dr. Joseph Mauk. Dr. Kainoa Macaulay. Dr. Samuel McCollum. Dr. Kara McConaughey. Dr. Michael McHenry. Dr. Madeline McKenna. Dr. Ryan McNasser. Dr. Amiel Mercado. Dr. Abigail Myers. Dr. Mina Milad. Dr. April Miller. Dr. Jennifer Munoz. Dr. Matthew Nagy. Dr. Elora Naik. Dr. Aparna Narendrula. Dr. Kiera Needham. Dr. Stephanie Njimanze. Dr. Lubika Nkishama. Dr. Patrick O'Shea. Dr. Braden Oakes. Dr. Elizabeth Obie. Dr. Yasal O. Dr. Anthony Anuzarike. Dr. Obichi Onwukwe. Dr. Peace Orji. Dr. Jeza Ortet. Dr. Eric Pan. Dr. Sonali Patel. Dr. Carter Payne. Dr. Jacob Perino. Dr. Allison Petchke. Dr. Cole Pickney. Dr. Otis Pinkard. Dr. Kathleen Plona. Dr. Tamaya Potter. Dr. Hira Qureshi. Dr. Vivian Roan. Dr. Jasmine Robinson. Dr. Walter Rossi. Dr. Christopher Rothfuss. Dr. Emma Russell. Dr. Matthew Russell. Dr. Arvind Saremi. Dr. Tulin Sawaf. Dr. Christopher Schlechter. Dr. Carrington Seals. Dr. Avery Sears. Dr. Jasmine Serpin. Dr. Paris Shah. Dr. Michael Shee. Dr. Yu Ming Shi. Dr. Nani Shishwawala. Dr. Timothy Shu. Dr. Adrian Simmons. Dr. Eleni Simmons. Dr. Jacob Sinopoli. Dr. Alex Saboti. Dr. Ishwar Somasundaram. Dr. Aubrey Strickland. Dr. Jacob Stuckey. Dr. David Sweet. Dr. Lisa Tan. Dr. Christy Tang. Dr. Sarabi Tuwari. Dr. Mitchell Tom. Dr. Dominique Tucker. Dr. Adriana Euler. Dr. Sarah Wanick. Dr. Brian Webb. Dr. Michael Wells. Dr. Garrett Westcamp. Dr. Alexandra White. Dr. Noah Wickerham. Dr. Abigail Wilgore. Dr. Anna Wu. Dr. Bernie Wu. Dr. Shannon Wu. Dr. Colin Shu. Dr. Joshua Yuan. Dr. Kevin Zai. Dr. David Singh. Dr. Susan Zhang. Dr. Bowen Zhou. Dr. Christopher Zhou. Congratulations, graduates.
Speaking of doctors, it is time for the Hippocratic Oath, and I ask all physicians, including our newly minted ones, to please stand, and Dr. Ricconati will lead the recitation of the Hippocratic Oath.
Thank you, Dr. Gerson. If you'll please turn to page 17. At matriculation, all medical students at the Case Western Reserve University School of Medicine work together to craft their own oath of medical professionalism. The recitation of that oath marked their formal entrance into the study of medicine. Today, you have earned the right to recite the Hippocratic Oath, which marks your formal entrance into the profession of medicine. I will get you started. As a member of the medical profession, I solemnly pledge to dedicate my life to the service of humanity. The health and well-being of my patient will be my first consideration. I will respect the autonomy and dignity of my patient. I will maintain the utmost respect for human life. I will not permit consideration of age, disease, disability, creed, ethnic origin, gender, nationality, political affiliation, race, sexual orientation, social standing, or any other factor to intervene between my duty and my patient. I will respect the secrets that are confided in me even after the patient has died. I will practice my profession with conscience and dignity and accordance with good medical practice. I will foster the honor and noble traditions of the medical profession. I will give to my teachers, colleagues, and students the respect and gratitude that is their due. I will share my medical knowledge for the benefit of the patient and the advancement of healthcare. I will attend to my own health, well-being, and abilities in order to provide care to the highest standard. I will not use my medical knowledge to violate human rights and civil liberties, even under threat. I will make these promises solemnly, freely, and upon my honor.
You may be seated. In closing, our heartfelt congratulations to our graduating class, our family members, the faculty of the School of Medicine, our hospital leaders for participating in this event today, and for witnessing the entry of our graduating class into the rarefied professional society of healers of humankind in medicine, an ancient profession led by the Hippocratic Oath, which will ensure advancement of wellness across mankind and humankind across this country, this city, and the world, designed to bring new medications to disease, to mitigate social determinants of health, and to lead in the discovery of the improvement and well-being of all of us across the world. So with that, I want to thank you all for joining us today. As to my newest physician colleagues and doctors of the class of 2023, I wish you the best, and my heartfelt congratulations to all of you. We'd all like to be able to move on to the reception. We're going to do it in a slightly organized fashion. So if the guests will allow the academic procession to proceed out, and you stay in your seats if you could for a couple minutes. And we're going to walk up Adelbert to the Biomedical Research Building, where we have a wonderful reception, and we'll begin that procession immediately, after which the guests may leave as well. Thank you all.